large crowds, haircuts, birthday parties, jeans, button-down shirts, and certain foods are all overwhelming, these are sensory processing disorder symptoms that can be so hard on kids. When they suffer, we suffer. So if your child is easily overwhelmed in large crowds, always touching everything, or doesn't pick up on social cues or understand personal space, not only can it be frustrating, but absolutely heartbreaking to watch them struggle with stressful sensory situations. There is not a one-size-fits-all for sensory processing challenges, but SPD is a condition that affects how the brain and nervous system process stimuli. It can affect all 5 general senses: touch, smell, sight, taste, and hearing. And if your child struggles with SPD, you already know its effects. In this video, we'll look at the root causes and specific tests that we can use to measure the struggle. Yes, you heard that right. There is a test that we can use to quantify it. And then, even more importantly, get to work helping make the sensory processing system more comfortable and able to handle stimuli. This video is for moms and dads who want to dive deeper into how to help their child with sensory processing struggles. And most likely you've tried therapies and diets and often avoid situations that are difficult altogether to no or very little avail. We are going to discuss the root cause of sensory processing disorder, which starts with the nervous system very early in development. There is a unique and non-invasive way or test to measure this neurologically. They're called the INSiGHT scans. So let's talk about finding the root cause of SPD. There are 2 different kinds of sensory processing challenges: sensory avoiding, which means that they do not want to be touched, and sensory seeking, which means that they are always in need of more stimulation. Children can most definitely have a mix of both. To find the root cause of these struggles, we have to go all the way back to your child's early development, often even before delivery. One of the very first things to develop in utero is the brain and autonomic nervous system. So if our mothers are left in a constant state of distress and anxiety, this can greatly affect the developing infant's brain and nervous system. Another trigger is birth intervention and trauma: forceps, vacuum extraction, induction, C-section, etc. This can disrupt the function of the brainstem and upper cervical spinal cord regions, which are the most important areas for processing and integrating sensory information before it reaches the brain. Think of the brainstem as air traffic control for all of your child's 7 senses, where it's responsible for not only organizing and processing the information, but also keeping out unwanted or annoying information. This unwanted and annoying information is known as nociception. Pain is one form of nociception, so think about your ability to think when you stub your toe on the bed. This is how your child's brain feels when they're getting too much or not enough sensory stimulation. The reason that your child may be avoiding certain stimuli is to avoid additional noisy and stressful situations that they can't yet tolerate. Additionally, if they are constantly moving and seeking out physical touch and stimulation, they are doing so in order to bring about proprioception, which is the sense of movement. While it may not seem like it, all of that movement and touching things is actually calming their brain down. It doesn't feel like it's getting enough input and it's constantly seeking more. The SPD test is one way to talk through why this is happening, but more importantly, it's how to help. The nervous system is a 2-way street. One set of nerves is called sensory nerves that send information and report to the brain and brainstem precisely what's going on inside the body or the internal environment, and outside the body or its external environment. The other set of nerves is more of what is termed motor control nerves that send signals out from the brain and spinal cord and tell various parts of the body what to do, when to do it, how to do it, etc. As parents, we measure these systems through the symptoms that they produce, but this often doesn't tell the whole story of what is going on inside the body within the nervous system. This is why taking a test to look under the surface is so incredibly important with children who struggle with SPD. The best part is that this test can be done very easily and comfortably. This test, which is conducted in our office, consists of 3 different neurosensory scans from a technique called the INSiGHT. Here is an example of what the INSiGHT scans look like once they're completed. The INSiGHT scans are about finding, tracking, and understanding if subluxation and dysautonomia are present. And if they are, we need to know 2 things about them: how significant or severe they are, and where within the neurospinal system they're primarily located. Think of the neurospinal system as the fuse box in your home. While our nervous system is quite a bit more intricate and complex than that, many of the sensory and motor nerves function similarly. In our office, we use the neurofuse chart to help us better track and locate where and what kind of trouble the subluxation and dysautonomia may be causing. Making sure this system is working at full function is simply the most important exam and assessment any pediatric provider could perform for your child. Put simply, if the nervous system isn't calm on the inside, sensory symptoms will show on the outside. In just 10 to 15 minutes, these safe, non-invasive scans can find, measure, and locate subluxation in your child's autonomic nervous system. These scans help us put together a customized care plan that fits your child's exact needs and start to restore function and balance to the autonomic nervous system. This is the missing link to help your child with their sensory processing challenges.